Dave knows how.
Okay, so the next thing that we're gonna do is we're gonna get this flywheel put back in here. There's only one way that this flywheel will go on. Well, that's not exactly true. There's a lot of ways that this flywheel will go on, but there's only one way it'll go on, and all the bolts will go in it. What they've done is they've put two of the holes that mount this thing on a little bit closer together than all the others, and that's a good thing. That means that you don't have to worry about marking this thing when you take it out. You just orient it in a way that all the bolts will go in. So I'm using this spring style measuring device, okay, and we're going to measure the holes that are the furthest apart by sticking this down in the hole, running this out until it just starts to drag, and then running it back in until it doesn't drag. And now we can see that it fits here. 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 But it won't fit here. So we know that these two holes right here are closer together. You can pick up one of these tools that some of your big box stores have them. Lowe's, Home Depot, like that. This is an old one that came with the machinist tools. It might be a Starrett. I'm not real sure. No, it's a Brownie Sharp. This is a Brownie Sharp. But you can pick these up. Inexpensive ones you can probably get at the big box stores. You can order them on Amazon. You know, a Brownie Sharp would probably be kind of expensive, but you know, it is what it is. These come in really handy for a lot of things. You ought to pick up a pair. So now we know where the holes are in this thing. We're just gonna take a red Sharpie and mark it. We got the holes marked. We're gonna put a handle on, and we're gonna put it on so that it's oriented in a way that these two holes are not blocked by this handle. Now we're going to jump up inside of here, and we're going to measure those holes with this same device by sticking it in the hole. And the holes that it'll go in all the way around until we get to the last two, and then on those two we installed this bolt. Let me see if I can find the package this bolt came in. I believe this is it right here. So this bolt has the same thread as the bolts that hold this flywheel on, but they're a lot longer. So this bolt isn't a metric bolt. It's a M12-1.25 by 100 millimeters long. So it's a lot longer than this bolt. We're going to install two of these with cut off heads. I just took a grinder and cut the heads off. We're going to install two of these in the two holes that are closest together. Run them all the way up in there as far as we can. And that's what we're going to slide this flywheel up on to get it oriented in the right direction that it needs to be in. Something else that we need is we need some engine oil. Whatever oil that you're using in your engine, that's the oil that you need. If you've got some, if you've changed your oil recently, you should have probably a little bit left over. We're going to dump some down in this measuring cup right here. We got a syringe with a piece of straw on it. Not sure if it's going to work or not, but we're going to try to draw us some oil up in here. Get the air out. Okay, so we got us a syringe with some oil in it. Now, we need to treat the threads of the bolts that's going to hold this on with some motor oil. So we can either dip it in there like that and then stick it in the hole after it's been dipped. Or we can take a little bit of this right here and we can stick it up in the hole and inject a little bit up in there, each hole. Okay, I'm probably put a little too much. I'm gonna get a rag and wipe out the excess. Okay. We're also going to put a little bit on the old finger. And we're going to get in here and we're going to rub some around this rear seal. We're going to rub some all over this mating surface that flywheel is going to go on. And then we're going to take a rag and wipe out any extra that's in there. Okay, just a little bit of motor oil. We can put a little bit up inside this bearing, not too much. Just a little light coat. That's all we need. All right, and now that we got all that done, we're just about ready to put this flywheel on. Now, I'm not showing how to replace this main seal, because the main seal in here there's nothing wrong with it. It's not leaking. It's not. I'm not seeing any signs or any deterioration of the seal, like it's getting ready to go bad or anything. Dry rot or anything like that is what we're looking for. I'm not seeing any of that. So we're going to leave it alone. If it's not broke, don't fix it. I called my son, asked him about it. He said if it's not showing signs of leaking, don't do anything with it. Leave it alone, because sometimes you create more problems changing them out than if you would have just left it alone. So he's done enough of these to know, so I'm not going to question what he says. There's also a sleeve. It's a metal sleeve that goes in around that seal, and sometimes that sleeve has to be replaced too. And in the event that that seal needs replacing, you would do that when you replace the seal. You would replace that sleeve as well. We're not going to do either one of those. It seems to be fine, no leaks. You know, oil level in this machine stays the same in between oil changes. I never have to add oil. It just, you know, it's never been a problem. So we're gonna leave it like it is, and we're gonna go ahead and get on with installing this thing. So we got the handle on it. We can pick it up. We can line up these two bolts sticking out with those bolt holes that we've marked. Slide this jewel up on there and get it mounted in place. I'm gonna try to move some cameras around so maybe you can get a little bit better view of what's going on, and we'll just get this done. All right, let's move. All right, so here we go. We've got it by the handle, got it going up in here. I'll rotate this around a little bit. I'll try not to bump the camera too much. Let's see if we can't. Looking up in the hole, we can see right where them bolts are. All right, look at there. That sucker's on there. Whoa, hit the camera. All right, so she's on there. Now we're just gonna take a bolt. We dip it down in a little bit of oil and get this started if we can. Doesn't want to start. So we can get this one started. All right, that one's going. All right. Get this handle out of the way. Now we're not tightening this thing down at all. We're just taking the slack out of the bolts. And we'll take these two guide bolts that we made out. We'll put these last two. Now we're going to go around with just a regular ratchet and a crisscross, and we're barely putting any pressure on this thing. We're just trying to draw this flywheel up on the hub where it registers. We're not cranking it, we're not torquing it, we're just trying to move this thing in there where it's seated all the way. Okay. And once we get past that, then we're gonna get in here with a torque wrench. And we're gonna slowly creep up on the torque spec of this thing. Okay? Ever so slowly. Alright, so we've got the torque wrench here. We're going to set it on, I think what we're shooting for is 79 pounds, I think. I don't know. I can't remember. I have to look in the book. But we're going to go to 25 pounds. And we're going to put 25 pounds on here. Go across the other side, 25 pounds. Now we're going to go to 50 pounds. Alright, we're at 50 pounds. Alright, we're at 50 pounds. Now we're going to pull out our spec sheet. Look for flywheel screws, M12 1.25. Come over here and we're looking for between 72.3 to 79.5 foot-pounds. Okay, so we're going to run this up to 75 pounds. All right, we're at 75 pounds. Here's one. Oh, and while I'm doing this, You notice the flywheel's not turning. That's because we got a great big 46 millimeter wrench around the bolt on the very front of the crankshaft at the front of the engine. I'll put some video footage of what that looks like. Since we don't have anybody to help us, we've got it strapped to the front axle with a ratchet strap. And as long as we hold our mouth just right, it should work. All right. We're still going in a crisscross pattern. All right. So we're at 75 pounds. I think that's going to be good enough. We're going to unscrew the torque wrench all the way out. Don't want to leave it. So we unscrewed that all the way out. Set it off to the side. All right, so now we got all of that torqued down, looking good. All right. Now, all this surface here needs to be free and clean of any oil or anything like that. So we're going to take some brake clean. I'm going to spray it down. Woo! And we had to move outside for a little ventilation. Got a clean rag. Wipe this out. All right, that should be good to go. And everything ought to be good and torqued down. All right, so we got it. We got the flywheel torqued down to 75 foot-pounds, which is in between the parameters of what this instruction sheet says it needs to be. And it says on here, you know, there's notes on here that anything that's marked with an asterisk mark, apply engine oil to their threads and seats before tightening. So that's what that oil was about, okay? That's what that film of oil was about. And it's located down there in the bottom underneath the notes. So it's important to read those notes down there if you're going by the shop manual. You don't want to forget to do that. Ask me how I know. So the next thing we're going to be going on to doing is going to be installing the clutch disc and installing the pressure plate. Sometimes in the manual, the pressure plate is also referred to as the clutch cover. Don't ask me why, but it is. So we'll have to look through and find the torque specs for the clutch cover or the pressure plate. See what that is. Additionally, there are let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There's 6 screws that go in there that hold that thing on. And as you can see, 2 of them are longer than the other 4. So we need to figure out where the 2 longer ones go. We're going to do that by taking the measuring device, and we're going to stick it in the hole, each one of these holes, and figure out which one is the deepest hole. There's 2 on there that have deeper holes, and we're going to mark those mentally. We'll try to get them, you know, they're going to be probably straight across from each other. So we're going to mark those, and then we're going to get this pressure plate out, throw the clutch disc in there, and start getting this thing torqued down in place so that we can move on with this thing and get a little bit closer to sliding this tractor back together. That's what I'm trying to get to. Woo! This is a job, man. Anyway, we got a couple more things to do after that before we can slide it together, but we're definitely making progress and getting closer. So let's get the rest of the stuff together and set up in here, and we'll figure it out. Okay, I gotta go get my measuring tool, wherever that is. Oh, me.
Don't forget to rate, comment, and subscribe. Thanks for watching.